Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that your money made more money while you were sleeping than you earned during an entire day at work. It sounds like something only billionaires experience, but here's the surprising truth. This is exactly how many self-made millionaires build wealth over time. They don't rely on secret investments, lottery wins, or impossible stock market predictions. Instead, they take advantage of one of the most powerful financial forces ever discovered, compound interest. Albert Einstein is often credited with calling compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether or not he actually said it, the idea remains true. Compound interest has quietly created more millionaires than flashy investment trends ever will. In today's video, you'll learn exactly how millionaires use compound interest to accelerate their wealth, why most people completely underestimate its power, and how you can start using the same strategy, even if you're starting with a small amount of money. Most people think becoming wealthy requires earning a six-figure salary, launching a successful business, or inheriting a fortune. While those things can certainly help, they are not requirements. The biggest difference between average earners and millionaires is often not income, but behavior. Millionaires understand that every dollar has the potential to become a small employee working for them around the clock. Instead of spending every extra dollar they earn, they invest it into assets that grow over time. Then those earnings begin generating their own earnings, creating an endless cycle of growth. This is the magic behind compound interest. Unlike simple interest, where you only earn returns on your original investment, compound interest allows you to earn returns on both your original money and all the previous gains. Over years and decades, that snowball becomes an avalanche. Let's imagine two people. Sarah starts investing at age 25. She contributes $500 every month into a diversified portfolio, earning an average annual return of 10%. Mark decides he'll wait until age 35 because he wants to focus on enjoying life first. When he finally starts, he invests $1,000 every month, twice as much as Sarah. Surprisingly, even though Mark invests significantly more money each month, Sarah often ends up with more wealth by retirement simply because she gave compound interest an extra decade to work. Time, not just money, becomes the most valuable ingredient in building wealth. This is exactly why millionaires become obsessed with starting early. They understand that every year delayed isn't just one lost year of investing. It's a lost year of future compounding that can never be recovered. Every dollar invested in your 20s has decades to multiply. By the time retirement arrives, those early investments may have doubled, tripled, or even multiplied several times over depending on market performance. Waiting until your 40s or 50s means asking your money to perform a miracle in far less time. Another reason compound interest works so well for millionaires is consistency. Financial news often makes investing seem exciting with headlines about market crashes, artificial intelligence stocks, cryptocurrencies, and overnight success stories. Millionaires usually ignore the noise. Instead of constantly buying and selling investments, they consistently contribute money every month regardless of whether the market is rising or falling. This disciplined approach allows them to benefit from dollar-cost averaging, where they purchase more shares when prices are low and fewer shares when prices are high. Over long periods, this strategy removes much of the emotional decision-making that causes average investors to lose money. One common misconception is that millionaires constantly chase the highest returns possible. In reality, many wealthy investors focus on steady, long-term growth rather than trying to hit home runs. They understand that preserving capital is just as important as growing it. A diversified portfolio containing broad market index funds, quality dividend-paying companies, exchange-traded funds, and retirement accounts often produces outstanding results over decades without requiring constant attention. Instead of searching for the next hot investment, they allow compound interest to quietly do the heavy lifting. Retirement accounts play a major role in this strategy. In the United States, accounts like a 401(k), traditional IRA, and Roth IRA provide powerful tax advantages that accelerate compounding even further. When investments grow without annual taxes reducing returns, more money stays invested and continues generating additional returns year after year. Many employers even match employee contributions to a 401(k), effectively providing free money before investment growth even begins. Millionaires almost never ignore employer matching because they recognize it's one of the easiest ways to increase long-term wealth. Taxes are another area where wealthy individuals think differently. They understand that every dollar paid unnecessarily to the IRS is one less dollar available to compound. That doesn't mean avoiding taxes illegally. Instead, they legally maximize retirement contributions, harvest tax losses when appropriate, hold investments long enough to qualify for favorable long-term capital gains rates, and carefully structure their financial decisions to minimize unnecessary tax drag. These small decisions may seem insignificant in 1 year, but over 30 or 40 years, they can translate into hundreds of thousands of additional dollars. Dividend investing also demonstrates the incredible power of compounding. Imagine owning shares in companies that regularly distribute profits to shareholders. Instead of spending those dividend payments, millionaires often reinvest them automatically to purchase additional shares. Those new shares then generate even larger dividend payments in the future, creating an accelerating cycle of income growth. Over decades, dividend reinvestment can contribute a substantial portion of total investment returns, especially when combined with stock price appreciation. Many wealthy investors also avoid one of the biggest enemies of compound interest: unnecessary debt. High-interest credit card balances can compound against you just as powerfully as investments compound for you. A credit card charging 25% annual interest grows debt at an astonishing rate. Millionaires understand that paying off high-interest debt often provides a guaranteed financial return that's difficult to beat elsewhere. Before focusing on aggressive investing, they eliminate expensive debt so compounding starts working in their favor instead of against them. One of the most fascinating psychological differences between millionaires and everyone else is delayed gratification. They don't automatically upgrade their lifestyle every time their income increases. Instead of buying a luxury car after receiving a raise, they may continue driving the same reliable vehicle while investing the difference. This behavior is sometimes called avoiding lifestyle inflation. Every dollar not spent today becomes another dollar capable of compounding for decades. Small sacrifices made early often produce enormous financial freedom later. Consider someone who spends $600 each month on unnecessary subscriptions, expensive dining, and impulse purchases. Redirecting that same $600 into investments earning an average 10% annual return over 35 years could potentially grow into well over $2 million before taxes, depending on actual market performance and future returns. That's the hidden opportunity cost behind everyday spending decisions. Millionaires constantly evaluate purchases by asking themselves what future wealth they're giving up in exchange for today's convenience. Risk management also separates successful investors from gamblers. Compound interest only works if your money remains invested. Chasing speculative investments that promise massive returns often results in devastating losses that interrupt compounding. Losing 50% of your portfolio doesn't simply require a 50% gain to recover. It requires a 100% gain just to return to your starting point. Millionaires understand this math, which is why protecting capital remains one of their highest priorities. Another overlooked advantage is increasing investments as income grows. Rather than keeping contributions fixed forever, wealthy individuals frequently raise their investment amount every time they receive a promotion, bonus, or salary increase. Even small annual increases can dramatically boost long-term wealth because every additional contribution receives years of compound growth. This simple habit transforms career advancement into accelerated financial independence instead of accelerated spending. Technology has made this process easier than ever before. Automatic payroll deductions into a 401k, recurring transfers into brokerage accounts, and automatic dividend reinvestment remove emotion from investing. Millionaires love automation because it eliminates the temptation to time the market or skip investments during uncertain periods. Financial success often depends less on making brilliant decisions and more on consistently making good decisions over many years. One important lesson that many successful investors repeat is that market volatility is not the enemy. In fact, temporary downturns often become opportunities. During market corrections, automatic investments purchase more shares at lower prices. When markets eventually recover, those discounted purchases generate even greater long-term returns. Instead of panicking during bear markets, Experienced investors frequently view them as future wealth being offered at a discount. Compounding doesn't only apply to investing. It also applies to financial knowledge. Every book you read, every investment concept you learn, every mistake you avoid, and every smart financial habit you develop compounds over your lifetime. Millionaires continuously educate themselves because better decisions made consistently produce exponentially better financial outcomes. The more knowledgeable you become, the more effectively your money works for you. Perhaps the most inspiring aspect of compound interest is that it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your background, your education, your career, or whether you started with $100 or $100,000. It rewards patience, consistency, discipline, and time. These are qualities available to almost everyone willing to adopt them. While not everyone becomes a millionaire overnight, almost everyone can dramatically improve their financial future by allowing compound interest enough time to perform its remarkable work. As you think about your own financial journey, remember that wealth rarely arrives in dramatic moments. It grows quietly, almost invisibly, one contribution, one dividend, one investment gain, and 1 year at a time. The people we admire for their financial success often appear lucky only because we notice the final result instead of the decades of disciplined investing behind it. The best day to begin using compound interest was years ago, but the second best day is today. Every dollar you invest now has the potential to become many dollars in the future. Every month you stay consistent strengthens the foundation of your financial independence. Millionaires don't possess a secret formula unavailable to everyone else. They simply understand that time is their greatest asset and compound interest is their most powerful partner. Start early, stay invested, ignore short-term distractions, continue learning, and let your money work harder than you ever could. Years from now, you'll be grateful that you gave compound interest the one thing it needs most to build lasting wealth: time.